Alright guys, I haven't made an update for, what has it been, 8 or 9 months? It's been a while. So, I've been getting, a lot of messages of, people, they want an update on me. They want to know, how I'm doing, things like that, and through this whole process. So, I've, I broke it down to, like 5 chapters here. And I'm gonna try to make the video as short as possible, but it may take a little time. So, after withdrawal, things go back to being normal. You have to accept that, you've went through, something unbelievable. Something that no one should go through, especially going through this through a medical professional, because this usually happens through psychiatry. But you could even get these pills from your general practitioner, or your neurologist, or any other type of doctor, because there's tons of doctors in other fields. So you can get these drugs from pretty much any doctor that's able to prescribe. And these drugs, these benzodiazepines, they're prescribed for countless things. They're prescribed for insomnia. They're prescribed for severe anxiety attacks. They're prescribed for seizures. But other than that, if we just kind of knew that there's natural ways to actually deal with anxiety. There's natural things to do. And then you go and take a pill, was prescribed to you involuntary. Involuntary means prescribed. Voluntary means not prescribed. So voluntary, we're taking a prescription medication. And this medication is doing nothing but causing us severe issues. Severe neurological issues, panic attacks, insomnia, things such in that nature. I don't know, guys. This process, guys, takes a while. It's not like a 2-month thing. It's not like a 3-month thing. I went through this for years. I went through this for way longer than any person should ever have to go through this, especially being prescribed the medication where you think it's safe. We see so many drug commercials these days where, so-and-so was taking this drug, or so-and-so was taking Abilify, and you have to call this number to be in some type of settlement thing going on. And just to know that the medical community is not a safe place. And I also want to talk about going into a detox and rehab facility to withdraw from benzodiazepines. We could actually get into that right now real quick. Going to detox and rehab is completely, it should be completely avoided, because you cannot withdraw from benzodiazepine in 1 week. Most of these rehabs keep you in here for 1 week. You may find some rehabs that'll keep you for a month. Will bill your insurance depending on what type of insurance you have. But most rehabs, they want to do it in 1 week, and they want to do it with a phenobarbiturate crossover or a Valium crossover. And your time frame in there, you would be given other psychiatric drugs to minimize withdrawal symptoms, which it will minimize your withdrawal symptoms, but when you come out of the rehab, you're going to have ridiculously amount of severe symptoms, which is going to cause an initial reinstatement, which means you have to go back on the medication because you're having such severe withdrawal. So that's what would happen if you checked yourself into detox or rehab to come off of benzodiazepines. It should be clearly avoided. Many people have done it. People on lower doses can maybe find their way off, but it will cause an initial reinstatement on the drugs. So that should be avoided. That should be, the first thing on your list. No detox or no rehab facilities. They tried to get me in a rehab facility when I was going through this, and I'm so glad I didn't go because they wanted $7,800 for a week stay in Florida, and it would have been throwing money down the drain. Another thing I would like to talk about real quick is, flumonzanil, which is something that's basically prescribed for people that overdose on benzodiazepines, and it's also being done at the Coleman Institute. The Coleman Institute is actually doing flumonzanil on an enormous amount of people, so those people don't have to go through withdrawal. But here's the thing, here's the catch. This procedure has been done. It's been done many times before. I don't know one success story where somebody has done flumonzanil and has been cured from benzodiazepines where they do not have to go through a withdrawal. I don't know one, and I've talked to, I can't even tell you how many people I've talked to throughout the years. So flumonzanil should definitely be avoided. So if you are talking to a rehab or detox facility and they do push this upon you, which that's what they're taught to do. They're taught to get you in here. They're taught to tell you that you need help and you'll come out feeling great. That's what rehab and detox facilities do. These guys are trained for this. They know what they're doing. They know what they're saying. And they also know that you're in a vulnerable state. So that should definitely be avoided too. So I've broken this down to 5 chapters, guys. And the first chapter, I would like to, the first chapter is, understanding withdrawal. You have to understand, what you're going through. You have to understand that the akathisia, the panic attacks, the severe derealization, the severe depersonalization, the brain fog, the feeling like you can't look at somebody in the eyes face to face, or you can't hold that conversation like that. That, and also severe depression, suicide, extreme suicidal ideation, which is sadly a part of withdrawal, which I believe that if you're prescribed a medication and you get suicidal, that's in my book, that is extremely serious, because I don't believe that anyone should be given a medication that plays with the brain chemicals, that plays with all your chemicals that make everything in your body run smoothly and able to relax and able to actually enjoy life. Because these drugs cause apathy, which apathy is a feeling that you don't have interest in things that you used to have. You don't have that joy when you go to the mall, or you don't have that joy with your significant other, your husband, your wife, your kids. A lot of you probably can't even be around your kids when you go through something like this, because that's withdrawal. That's what withdrawal does. That's sadly a part of it. But we have to understand that is a part of withdrawal. That does go back. You do go back to being who you were. So, back to the first chapter. First chapter is understanding withdrawal. You have to read the Ashton Manual. The Ashton Manual is a book, written by Heather Ashton. She had her own benzodiazepine withdrawal clinic over in the UK. For, I believe, 12 years. Was it 12 years? I believe it was 12 years or something like that. I don't know for a fact that, but she had a withdrawal clinic, and she helped people withdraw from this clinic. In my time, going through this, the Ashton Manual, the withdrawal process, is the best way to safely come off of benzodiazepines, where you can get your life back and you can be happy and you can, move on, from this chapter in your life, because no one should have to go through it. So, chapter 1 is to read the entire Ashton Manual. Now, when I went through this process, guys, I studied this book. I studied this book. I studied the chapters. I studied how to withdraw properly, and I also studied, um, half-lives of drugs. Xanax is 6 to 12 hours, which is really short. So if you're on alprolizam, which is Xanax, after you take your medication, you actually crave to take another pill really soon because the half-life is 6 to 12 hours, which is so short. So you're craving another pill to take away your anxiety. And Xanax, alprolizam, causes rebound anxiety. It causes serious rebound anxiety, like serious rebound anxiety. So if you find yourself on Xanax having severe panic attacks, that's why, because it has such a short half-life. And a lot of people that are on Xanax, they shouldn't be on it because, in my own opinion, I think Xanax is the most dangerous one out of them all. Out of them all. They're all dangerous. Every one in this drug class is dangerous. But Xanax, I think, is the mother of all of them. And I would definitely go to a longer-acting benzo, especially if you're trying to taper. Okay, I want to get to 2 real quick. 2 is the time frame involved. The time frame involved for you to taper through this and recover and get your life back. This actually is very individual, guys. This is very individual. One person can taper and get off, and they can be off for 16, 17 months and be 100% healed. And the other person that can get off, it can be 29 months and they could still be going through withdrawal. So we have to understand that all of these symptoms are different. Some people don't get derealization. Some people don't get. So I've met people that didn't get anxiety in this, and everybody gets anxiety. So that just goes to show, symptoms do differ, and these drugs should never be stopped cold turkey. I mean, never. You never stop any psychiatric medication cold turkey because it's an overload. It's an overload, in your brain, and it's something you don't want to do because it brings on such severe symptoms, guys. So you never. I don't care how bad you want to come off these drugs. You never stop these drugs cold turkey. So we have to understand too is the time frame involved for tapering and recovering from this. Now you taper off this medication, whether it takes you 2 years, even 3 years in some cases. Some people have dragged out 6, 7-year tapers, which I don't agree with because I don't think you should taper that long because no one should stay on a drug for 6 years to taper. Like I know people have been tapering 5 and 6 years, and I think that it really is a waste of time depending on how much you're taking. I was on a really high dose, so you should really pace yourself when you taper, and you don't want to rush your taper. You want to take your time with it. You don't want to just be like, oh, I want off these medications. I can't do this anymore. I need my life back. I need to be a mom. I need to be a dad. You have to take your time. You have to understand that, you don't want to rush this. You don't want to rush this. I wanted to rush this at one time. It was the worst thing. It's the worst thing ever. So take your time with it. And some people like to add on other psych drugs, antidepressants, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, stuff like that. I personally wouldn't do it. This is my own personal opinion. This isn't medical advice. I wouldn't do it just due to it being able to backfire, and that can always happen. If you're going through this and you have severe akathisia, just know that there is horror stories out there on it. Feels like you just gotta pace, just gotta keep moving, but it does go away, and it takes a very long time. It doesn't take 2 months. It doesn't take 2 months. It doesn't take 6 months. It takes longer than that. So 2 is understanding the time frame involved that's going to take you to taper off this medication. I've met some people and they've told me, you know what, Ann, I can't give up 3 years of my life. I can't do it. I got to work. I got to take care of my kids. I got to be a mother to my kids. I got to be a dad to my kids. And maybe it's not a good time in your life to taper off this medication, which is completely fine. You can actually stay on this medication for 10, 12, some people have been on this medication 25, 30 plus years and have tapered off successfully and got their life back. So it's very individual. It's a slow process. It's not like a process like 5-7 days like heroin. And rehab and detox facilities, they know what you're going through. With benzodiazepines, they do not know what you're going through. They're not clearly informed. They know things about drug half-life, symptoms that can happen, but they really don't know how long benzodiazepines can, go on for. The withdrawal. And it can go on for years. Withdrawal from benzodiazepines can go on for years. So if anyone's sitting there telling you, oh, benzo withdrawal symptoms go on for like 4 months, 5 months. No. I've clearly met people that have thought they were healed from benzos, but really, they weren't healed. But they thought they were healed. And they were like a year out or 15, 16 months out, and they decide, oh, you know what, I'm going to start drinking alcohol because I'm healed now. And that is a huge mistake. You do not want to, fall into that and make that mistake, because you want to, abstain from alcohol until you are completely healed and you know that you're healed. You don't want to be going to the bar saying, oh, give me a shot of Patron, give me 3 tequila shots, and give me a margarita, give me a martini here. You don't want to do that. You do not want to. That's a trap. That's a trap, because you know that you want your life back. And you want it back quick, and you don't want to keep doing this. Okay. So I'm going to get to, Chapter 3 here, guys. Chapter 3 is avoid the horror stories, because there is some really scary horror stories out here. Like, I've talked to people personally, and they have told me that they are on 5-6 different psychiatric medications, and they tell people that they're on one. In support groups, they say they're on one, but they're really on 5 or 6. So, we have to understand here that, yes, there is horror stories to this. There is people that cold turkey these drugs and went through seizure after seizure. There is people that have took these drugs, have cold turkey these drugs, and it has took them years to heal. There is horror stories like that. But we have to understand something, guys. And I didn't understand this until I was a couple years out, actually, when I clearly, fully understood it. There's always more to the stories. There's always more to the stories. And if you overreact and say you did cold turkey, or say you tapered off, and it's been 2 years and you're not fully healed yet, but you're a little healed, but you're not fully healed, don't overreact. Don't overreact, because you can wake up in 2 months or 3 months and you can be completely freaking healed. You can feel great. It happens. It happens, quite frequently. Many people that I've met that have healed from benzos, very high percentage. Can't really say what percentage, but I'd say very high percentage. When they get better from this, they're out. They're out of the support group. Some people do still stay in the support group, but they're out of the support group. They're out of the support group because there's no reason for them to be in a support group anymore. They don't need support anymore. They can handle normal day-to-day activities such as grocery shopping, walking the dog, and taking care of their kids, stuff like that. The basic stuff is all a piece of cake after this. It's just, it's nothing. It's nothing. Things are things are definitely a lot easier after this because you can't do much when you go through this. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And nobody understands, and you find yourself pretty much losing a ton of weight or gaining a ton of weight, and you're just not that person who you used to be. You're not that person who you used to be. And you can't be the mom you want to be, or you can't be the dad you want to be, or you can't be the sister you want to be, or the brother you want to be, or maybe the son you want to be, maybe the daughter you want to be to your parents. You can't do it. You can't do it because your brain's disabled. That's what these drugs do. These drugs disable the brain. And with that being said, you're disabled. That's pretty much why I'm so against psychiatry. I'm not a part of Scientology. I'm not a part of any type of conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I'm nothing like that. But I'm against psychiatry because I've seen what it's done to lives of people. I've seen people go to their psychiatrists and say, take me off this drug because I can't relax and I can't stop pacing, and they don't know how to taper you off. So you're getting prescribed a legal medication, and they don't know how to get you off this. Okay, time out. They don't know how to properly tape you off of this. So time out. So you can go and kill yourself, which many people do kill themselves on these drugs. You can go and hang yourself. And everyone's sad. But really, it's the drug. It's the drugs that cause this. And everyone's at your funeral. Like, oh, so sad. Like, oh, he's in a better place or she's in a better place. But really, it's the goddamn medication that causes suicide. It's the medications that causes suicide. And everyone's there. And everyone's sad, grieving. Everyone's crying. Which is a damn tragedy because he should never took the drugs. Or she should have never took the drugs. So psychiatry is completely out of control and it needs stopped. I believe personally it should be abolished. I believe it should be abolished because there's no drug to put in there and to make somebody so much better. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You got anxiety, there's natural ways to deal with it. There's certain herbs. There's certain remedies. I've talked to people personally. They've told me they got a girlfriend or boyfriend and they don't have anxiety anymore because they feel like they're wanted. They feel like they're loved. They feel like that there's a part of their life that they've always wanted. And there's no need for any type of medication. And I completely agree with that because I believe that, love and compassion and caring and understanding is something that actually really needs to be looked at here. Because many families, they just chop it up as, oh, just push yourself, push yourself. Just go out of the house a little, go to meetings, go to a meeting, But really, you gotta understand something. Many people take these benzodiazepines, they're not drug addicts. They're dependent on the medication. They need the drug to feel normal. They don't take the drug to seek a high off it like heroin. They don't do that. You become dependent on these medications, and then doctors don't taper you off. So I'd like to say something else here, guys. Hold on. In psychiatry, I've talked about this, before. They like to drug test you now. So if you think about it, you're going to a doctor. Oh, psychiatry is not actually a doctor. They are able to prescribe. You're going to them. And one day that they ask you to put something under your tongue. Or maybe go in there and pee in this cup. Okay, time out here. So you're seeing a psychiatrist, and there's no evidence, there's no x-ray. There's no x-ray to say that you have a broken bone in psychiatry. but you are labeled as GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, or bipolar disorder. So there's no blood test to prove that. There ain't no blood test. Okay, time out. So maybe there's a saliva test we can take. Huh? There ain't no saliva test to say that you have that disorder. Okay, so time out here. There's a stool analyst test, right? Right? To see if you have the disorder. No. There ain't no stool analyst. There ain't no stool analyst. Okay, wait. Okay, time out. Maybe there's some specific test or brain scan that we can do to say that you have bipolar disorder or you have this disorder, whether it's panic disorder, any type of disorder, because in the DSM, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, these disorders are voted upon by psychiatrists. They are voted upon by psychiatrists. So, what I'm trying to tell you is this. You go to psychiatrists. They talk to you for a half hour. Maybe there's some that sit down 45 minutes. Some will sit down with you for an hour. And they'll tell you that you have this and you have to take this pill to feel balanced out. But really, you start taking that pill and nothing but problems is occurring in your life. More anxiety, more panic attacks. You can't really leave your home. You can't relax. And just to know that there's no test to prove that you have this disorder should make you absolutely furious to the point where you contact malpractice doctors and you sit there and say, well, I took a drug, it changed my whole brain and I can't do a thing and I'm disabled. Because it is serious shit in my book. Because I've been through it. And I'm here to tell you it's not forever. It's not, but it sure as hell feels like it forever, huh? It sure as hell feels freaking forever, but it's not. It's not forever. And you do get your old self back. Now, let me get to 4 here real quick, guys. Where are we going? Oh, Jesus Christ, 27 minutes. Okay, 4, it's your body, not the doctor's. Okay. When you go to your doctor and you tell them you want to taper off this medication, majority of doctors will tell you 2 weeks it'll be over, a month it'll be over. No, some people do a hold for a month. They hold their dose to stabilize it when they're tapering for a month. So any psychiatrist tells you this is over in a couple weeks, just ignore them, because they're not educated. They're not educated in this, they get their information from pharmaceutical companies and things like that, which it's not good. Profit. Everything's profit. Psychiatry's profit. They look at you as a cash cow. They look at you as, what type of medications can we get this girl on? What type of medications can we get this young, beautiful woman on? Huh? That's what they do. They target you. Even men. They target men. They target women. They target children. They target you. And they look at you as a cash cow. They label you as this. Say you got that. Say you got this disorder. But really, you don't got that disorder. It's the drug causes chemical imbalance in your brain, so you can't actually do normal day-to-day activity. So, like I said, it's fraud. It's absolute fraud, and it should be illegal. So you have a right to be furious. Like I said, it's your body, not the doctor's. You control your taper. You taper how you want to taper. You don't go in there and say, can you get me off of this? Doctor says, you're a psychiatrist. I'll get you off in a week. I'll get you off in 2 weeks. No, because you rush this, your taper's destroyed. You rush the taper, your taper's destroyed. You have to get back on the medication, which is initial reinstatement. You don't want to do that. It does happen, though. And if it has happened, don't panic. Don't panic. It does happen. The more you panic, the worse the symptoms will be. So, take a big inhale. Take a long exhale. Like, this is all going to pass. This is all a part of withdrawal. We have to accept this. We have to accept that this is a part of withdrawal. We get better. So, Okay, now I'm going to get to 5 real quick, guys. I'm already at 29 minutes. Jesus Christ. I'm at 29 minutes already. Not 30 minutes. Okay, 5 is not giving up. Your body does heal. You cannot give up this fight. I know how fed up many of you are. You're just so sick of doing this, and you just want to live your life. You want to go meet a guy, or you want to go meet a girl and have a relationship and just have a job again and stuff like that. But you can't do it because you're still in withdrawal. You got to be patient. You got to be patient here because patience is a virtue here. You have to be patient because we do heal. We do heal from this. And it takes time to heal from this. It takes time for neurotransmitters to not be sensitive. And if you can exercise through this, walking is fine. Walking is completely fine. I don't agree with getting on a treadmill and running full speed. Many people like to do it, and it causes severe attacks and severe anxiety. I personally don't agree with it. Just because panic attacks and stuff like that. And it could cause serious adrenaline. So just walk. Just walk. If you can do a little type of lifting, that would be fine. But you have to keep going. You have to keep going because you're gonna get better. And I know it don't feel like it, but you're gonna get better from this, guys. And I respect the hell out of you guys. You guys have my ultimate respect because a lot of people couldn't do what you guys are doing. So, it don't go unnoticed, guys. It doesn't go unnoticed. You guys are the strongest people in the world, and I do mean that. I'm not just saying that, for just to make you feel good or anything like that. This cannot be done by a lot of people. A lot of people cannot do a week of this. A lot of people commit suicide because of these drugs. We have to keep going. We have to keep fighting. Okay, what am I at? I'm at 32 minutes. Oh, Jesus. I'm at 32 minutes, guys, so I'm going to stop this video here. If anybody, wants to get a hold of me or anything, you can just shoot me a message, You guys got to keep going. You guys have to keep going because it's not over until you're healed. And you have to keep fighting. So, if you guys need me, message me. Don't be shy. I know what you're going through. And the journey does come to an end, guys. So, that's all that matters. And I'm waiting for every one of you guys at the finish line, because this shit does end. And life is, it's what you want it, That's exactly what you want it. And it's coming. It's coming. So, keep going, guys.